one of the greatest problems that we have, and one of the things that I'm so glad that I see people doing in Jamaica is we haven't documented our history. We haven't documented our stories. We don't sit with our parents long enough to hear what their stories are. And the fact of the matter is, it's like one of those ones, it's like, if we don't pass these things on, they're going to die with our generation.
The mics are blood clot open. Check, check, check.
Select accent for the podcast.
Calvin always late.
Mics are open, episode 307. My name's G-Money.
Oh.
Why we have a guest we always do like we don't know?
G-Money, Andy Young.
Okay, Andy, yeah.
Does it have to be like that?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, no, you've not been here. So
Like the person who's next to G-Money might as well, you know.
So, my name's G-Money.
Andy Young.
Tonio Kibz. Andy Young and Big Z.
You know I did the same shit last week.
I saw.
I was like,
I saw. You missed me that much.
No, that's a level of focus.
Yeah.
How guys doing? Guys are good?
Yeah, we are.
What a week, boy.
Is it? I like your shoes, man.
Thanks, man. I decided to go back into my Air Max bag.
Yeah.
Before Tonio Kibz comes and clears up my...
You said you're dropping them, so I was ready. I was expecting some of your Air Maxes, bro.
Yeah, but not these ones though. These ones are kind
a
of
nice camel looking
Beige on beige. I see you with the white.
Oh,
come on.
What do you mean the white?
Panda.
Impala rugby. Can we speak about it? So, you're wearing an Impala rugby jersey.
Yes.
Yeah.
In solidarity with my friends at Impala.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Sounds
Who
good.
were quite upset by your allegations.
What allegations?
Your allegations that
Please, you worked on radio a lot, right? So please give them backstory.
So the backstory is Calvin has a theory that rugby players get white women as part of their severance package.
Yes.
No, I saw that conversation in the last podcast, not just these rugby guys, but I think generally black male athletes and successful black men. Why is it that most of them have white women?
I mean,
I saw you guys having that conversation on the podcast last week.
It's like a black man's wildest dreams, bro. Like me kama sahi nataka ku make it, na ni make it. When I finally get there, yani nimetoka the ghetto, all I've been seeing is like, the black women and everything. No disrespect, but I'd like to try something new.
Is that what you're gonna tell her when
First
you go
thing
back home?
is it pink? When I know, I'll have to double check that. But
Yeah.
So is it true? Is it part of the package?
I got a lot of messages. Well, it's all. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about making such kind of comments, right? It might go over the heads of a lot of people. You guys may think we're trying to offend people, but it's just a joke. But also in that joke, there's a bit of reality.
Yeah.
So there's a good number of them, right?
Yes.
So I got a lot of guys who are like, "Yo, you said it, brother. You said it." But here's the thing. There's a lot of people from a previous class in rugby that we've mentioned who not a lot, let's say a couple of guys.
A good number?
Good number, right?
Okay.
And G knows a couple of guys. But
Why do you keep on bringing me into
shut
this?
up. Let me cook.
Why do people bring me into this?
said,
If you're there, you're there.
G was like, "Oh, I've never noticed that."
Wow. I think G's perspective might be a bit skewed because G's coming from a place where this is nothing.
No, please don't try and protect him.
No, I'm not protecting him.
We're saying this in reference to he knows. And I can see why.
Why do you keep on saying I know?
Because you know, guys.
What does
What
he
do
know?
I know?
What does he know?
those are
Let's
his
not go there.
friends, bro.
What does he know?
Look at him trying to not
No,
reverse.
what does he know?
No, I was really offended by how, and a lot of people were offended. And you even saw the comments where guys were like, "Hey, G, amekataa hii kitu bana." When did you get so soft?
What do you mean?
Amekata nini?
No, because he does know, and I'm not trying to say.
But this is your
what?
conversation,
What
not
does he
mine.
know?
He's trying to tell me that I know that a lot of rugby players...
Not a lot, a couple.
So if it's a small number.
Not a small number.
No.
A good number.
Let's look at it. A small number. Because let's say it's 5%, 10%. I pay attention to the other 90%. I've never noticed.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it.
So, of all the rugby players that you know, right?
Andy, don't do that, bro.
What percentage of what Calvin is talking about do you know?
Cook.
To make it fair.
Yes.
Because we don't want unfair allegations over here.
Another tackle, please.
You know what? Diddy did not go to court for us to be discussing last week's podcast. Bruh, that Diddy court case is scary.
Fam.
So far.
Yeah, so it's what, day 3 this morning as we record. So they've been in court. Day 1, there was one of the male. Day 1 they had the male escort. Yesterday they had Cassie.
Right.
Today I think Cassie's going to be on the stand again. Wednesday as we record.
Right.
I sent you guys the clip of the lady,
reporter.
the reporter breaking it down. What's crazy is, okay, so Diddy's family has been coming out to support the mothers of his even other children and everything. But what you notice is yesterday when Cassie was actually giving her statement, the girls, the 17-year-old and the twins who are 18 had to come out of the court. But when you hear everything that Cassie said,
right,
Diddy is not okay.
But then Diddy's not okay, but I don't think she is either.
Fam.
I think she can march, but only until where it stops being safe. Like these guys, bro. You've met pretty babes who, I don't know if you've experienced this, but I've been in a position where, like, you're getting sexually engaged and involved with a very maybe chill, pretty girl, you know, she looks calm and all that, until she tells you to slap her or choke her, you know, and you're like, damn, I don't even look at you like that, you know.
Right.
But maybe now I have to match up to that level of, you know, freakiness and nastiness. So we draw the line where it becomes now dangerous. So,
fam,
yeah, she's okay, just freaky.
So here's the thing, right? So there's a lot that's been said, and also now there's even context of the video, right? The video that was played by CNN. So it was mid-session. That is actually what Cassie said. There was a freak off that was happening, and she wanted to leave to go to a premiere, and Diddy was like, "What the fuck?
Let's freak it out."
Yeah.
Good time.
And so when you watch now the footage that I shared of what the reporter was saying is they'd order together. At some point, they'd even, you know, order together. They're
Online
like, okay,
app, you know,
online.
like, okay,
they're like, yeah, let's
I need some
call this
cooking
guy.
oil. I need some.
No.
Oh yeah, let's just get this nigga as well.
Yeah, that kind of thing, right? They're like,
Why
yo,
we're
let's
at
get
this?
this guy. But you know what's crazy about it? How descriptive it all was, right? Diddy was over there saying, okay, cool, you guys make out, oil yourselves, start touching each other, like the foreplay leading on to this. Okay, you guys have had enough foreplay, get into oral sex. Yo, you guys have had enough oral sex. Then they're like, okay, cool, sexual intercourse, right? And then Cassie has to now go describe, if Diddy wasn't there, has to describe it. He was either watching or he wasn't there, and they were recording on either their devices, Cassie's or Diddy's. And then Diddy's like, so, did you like it? How was it? All of those different kind of questions. Now, the shit that was actually fucked up was when Cassie was saying the dudes would either come inside her or come on her chest, and Diddy would want their cum smeared on his nipples.
Ish.
I'm like, Diddy, what the fuck, bro?
So we're kink shaming now.
No, it's not kink shaming, bro. Here's the thing,
I'm just
like some of this shit is
Okay, so we're into day 3 of this case, and this is already out.
yeah.
I think, and I mean, obviously, we can't judge because, you know, we're not judge and jury. I just think that this is a lot of. I feel like there must be drugs involved.
Yeah, there were.
I feel like that. Huh?
Sorry to interrupt. Right, at some point, the judge asked, not the judge, the prosecutor was asking, okay, so how were you guys? And they were like, yo, there was a lot of drugs involved. We were high. At times, we were on like 3 days. Then they were like, so when did you sleep? They're like, nope, we didn't sleep.
Wow.
Like you're high beyond.
Right. So there's a lot of inhibitions that have gone through the windows.
Yeah.
And I feel like in that heightened sense of drugginess, anything sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Or anything goes.
But
I think what the thing about it is like I feel that all of their moral markers were all skewed anyway. But whatever drugs and, you know, it gets to a point where you also, you know, when you get that level of money, you think you're untouchable.
Yeah.
So you can pay for anything.
And get away with it.
But you know what's crazy about it, and not to, I hear what you're saying, but for me, I'm really, you know, I remember we had a phone call when you were talking about when you watched the video of Diddy and how it affected you. But for me, watching
Wait,
that,
be very clear about which video.
Was he sad?
when Diddy was beating on Cassie. Yeah, and we spoke about it on the podcast, right?
Yeah.
But the revelations that are coming out from the court case now, day one, when the escort was talking about pissing, taking a lick in Cassie's mouth, Diddy doing the same. I mean, R. Kelly was taking the piss.
Golden showers are
but not. You know what I mean? This shit is why would you want to take a piss?
It's a thing,
bro.
It's a thing, bro.
Piss inside my mouth.
Yeah, it's a thing, bro. People even do worse.
Yo, me, I left it at
you know there's this porn categories online.
I left it at 2 chicks in a cup.
Now that is even worse than peace.
And I remember when someone showed me that clip, I was like, what the fuck? I almost slapped them.
That's worse than peace. So guys are doing this.
Bro.
Me, I just draw the line to where it becomes illegal, where it becomes harmful, where someone is now in danger and where consent has been forgone. You know, that's the only place where I draw the line. But when it comes to these other kings, bro, you don't know. Okay, this is the one thing that we can see. Maybe Cassie, maybe Diddy, and kutoka kitamo, maybe from back in the day, even kina Boondocks are making fun of these things, even R. Kelly. These are things that are happening behind closed doors. It's just that we have now gotten the opportunity to say, oh, damn.
Yeah.
So it's for real.
And
you guys actually doing this thing.
And I think also that era, and I'm glad you mentioned that with Boondocks and R. Kelly.
Yeah.
I think in that era of celebrity, there were so many things. There were no these cameras, that. There were so many things, and also like I always reference when I used to do work with this was not Sony, this was Def Jam in the UK. This was Sony actually. I remember that Big Up Semtex. There's a day we took an artist out. And that was the first time I've experienced where an artist could just be like, like that. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, like so that was in what the
90s,
late 90s, early 2000s.
But you see, that is okay. I don't know how to differentiate it. I'm not. But think about it, right? So that's an artist saying, okay, cool. We're in the club, come hang out with us. It could be hanging out, right?
And it could be hanging out,
it could be that interaction
100%. So
and say, we're not going home. It could just be, hey, you're coming to kick
you're
it.
pretty,
But now you can imagine Diddy's allegations are sex trafficking. Like there's a point in which you're calling someone to go across states to come because you're like, oh, me and my partner like this one. Come through.
Favorite.
Favorite. Bro, this shit is wild.
I think that's very technical because, okay.
But you know,
if we bring it, walk with me, walk with me. If we bring it at a micro level, unambia dema toke Rongai akuje Thika Road, right? It's quite a distance, but she knows what time it is.
What she's going for.
So how different is it when, let's broaden it up, right? One state to another. Let's not even make it like overseas. One state to another.
But the two states may have
leave alone even state. Let's work even with Africa, right? Nimeenda SA, but nimeenda kupiga mechi. I'm going to SA because I know there's a shorty down there. Maybe we can link up. We can have a good time with. But it's strictly just that.
Yeah.
So to me, I think one of the, as you're saying, state to state, these things are different, right?
Yeah.
Because it's down to the definition. Like, how do you define sex trafficking?
That's all good and everything. That's willing buyer, willing seller. No one has a problem with that.
Yeah.
But there's money exchanging hands.
And the money which exchanges hands now brings the line, would this person have done this if no money was involved?
Yeah. So that's when,
that's the problem.
Trafficking, the term trafficking.
So right now, if, give me a female artist. Any female artist.
Kellis.
I knew that's where you were going, Kellis, right? Say she isn't in the 254, she's back in the States, right? And then she gives me a lump sum of money. Like she's like, yo, I need you to come to the States, drop some dick, here's some money, have a good time, and all that, and then go back.
But here's the issue. The issue is not so much the fact that she's paid you to go and link her. That's not an issue. The issue is Diddy paying that person to come and have sex with this person.
This person, yeah.
As the middleman.
Yeah.
The traffic. He's the
How
trafficker.
pretty are they?
No, he's the trafficker. The term.
The
term.
That's a term.
It's like child trafficking.
Yeah.
No, that's the.
You see, the term trafficking, get to the technical bit of it. Like your whatever in, what do you call it? Have you put the...
In the US, prosecution for sex trafficking does not hinge on a specific distance of movement or transportation of the victim. The crime is defined by exploitation and coercion.
Yes.
And movement can be used as a tool to isolate or control a victim. The same way how R. Kelly used to bring the people into his house and lock them in his house. So that's his problem. Because like you said, I mean, end of the day, like, whatever their kinks are.
Yeah.
But the issue now of turning this shit into you fly from Atlanta to come and have sex with this person over here while I watch.
Yeah.
There's now a criminal case in that. And to be honest, I'm not gonna act like I knew that. I only knew that this morning because I knew we'd talk about it. So when I did a deep dive, I was like, oh shit.
Okay,
also,
so I have a question.
And also the factor, like you see from the definition over there, coercion, right?
Yeah.
Remember Cassie had been saying, there's, when you look at the story, they were together 10 years, right? So at some point she was okay with the freak offs, kinda, right? But then you got to a point she was like, no.
I don't want to do this no more.
I don't want to do this no more, right? And Diddy's like, nah, if you don't do this, I'm gonna leak a sex tape with you. So she's like, nah.
Blackmail.
So you see the coercion
There's
part.
a lot there.
Yeah.
And then also like the fact that there's that money involved can be, money is also a tool as well.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, to bring it home kidogo, because the bad part was the trafficking and all that. But now, I've had a friend who once brought a VR, the VR thingy. I don't know if you guys have watched porn with it.
No.
It's not, that's
I think that's what got, probably did not get Diddy there. But right now, that can get you there because it's so real, bro. Like, can you know?
Have you watched porn on VR?
No, not like let me get ready for some porn. No. Like, it was just
But have you watched porn on VR?
Yes.
How was
the
it?
question.
Yeah.
Before you go into it, let me tell you. Before you, I know we'll go back there. I've used the Apple VR. That shit is fucking mind blowing.
Crisp,
like,
real.
mind blowing. As in, you're sitting in this room and you're literally, the screen is there, you're touching the screen here, your keyboard is here. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. 3,500.
Oh.
For the Apple ones.
Oh, okay.
Dollars. The other ones are cheaper.
But they've got a whole variety of different ones.
But they got different ones.
Comfort level, this, that.
The ones my guy brought in the house, bro, hiyo kitu nika, the same way I'm just seeing you guys.
Yeah.
I can even look around the room. Like, probably naweza ona tu cameraman huko nyuma, So like it's so real that someone would be like, I wish I could jump in. So that's where Malididi anakam. So unacheki, like nika unawaleta, it's like you're watching it, but then at the same time you're like, hapa naweza jump in. Like if the VR was just too real, I feel like it would get there. But it's so crazy, man. Once you talk on a VR, try, it's dangerous.
So try alafu wao wasitry.
No. It was just testing so that I can come and tell people don't.
Yeah, but
for research purposes.
But what I do say is that like at the end of the day, like I feel and I heard and I'm always referencing Chappelle. Chappelle said that in one of his specials that this is the era or this is the time where especially younger people want to correct the wrongs of the past.
Yeah.
So, for example, let's say, Dave Chappelle was robbed of his money in 1995. The new guys at Viacom want to give him his money back to fix the ills of the past. So I feel at the end of the day, like, for these legacy artists and, like, it's one of those ones where I'm sure, and I can't just say, like, for definite, but I'm sure at the end of the day, there's a lot of power was used in that era of the 90s and the 2000s.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now, Diddy's obviously the most high profile case, So.
And is it a coincidence that a lot of these like guys in that age group or from that era, bro, I don't know how many cases are in court right now along such lines. I don't know if you know about Smokey Robinson, because he also has a couple of...
Smokey is like like Smokey is Bill Cosby's era.
Yeah, Smokey's.
Yeah, Smokey's got to be in his 80s now.
Yeah.
So I think you are right. I think not having this kind of technology there back then, or social media, such things, they could get away with a whole lot,
But bro. Guys, like, understand, this is just day 3. We haven't even gotten to the part where...
He says, take that.
We haven't even gotten to the point where now he's blown up the car.
Kid Cudi
allegedly. And then... like Cassie is about to spill a lot. Like, from some of the things where she was saying, there's a time Diddy apparently they're chilling in the house, then he's alerted about a gang member who's around, and he gets out of the house with like guns. Bro, this shit is now, like there's a state, there's federal, this shit is a lot.
The documentary is gonna be fire.
But also, here's the thing, he's got some serious ass lawyers.
But he's got one really big issue, and that's 50 Cent.
Yeah,
50 Cent is having the time
of his life.
50
is actually about to go on tour. He turns 50 in July.
Really?
Yeah, 50 is going on tour. He's doing Germany, a couple of places. That'll be a really good one.
Could come to Kenya though.
He said world tour. I was over there I'm like,
Kenya,
South Africa, Nigeria. Bro.
He's doing Nigeria?
Nah, he's not doing Africa.
At all?
Yeah.
No.
Do you think his concert would be like super packed?
Fucking yeah.
50?
Jesus.
No, it would be packed, but I'm talking about
bro,
super packed.
50, you'll find even everybody.
Because remember, think about it, right? There's the era of
Ja Rule will be there as well.
there's that era of people who 50 the artist, right?
Yeah.
Then there's the era of people of 50 the internet personality. Then there's the era of 50 the actor. Like there's
50
so
the
much.
troll.
Like it's like even like yesterday. We'll come back to 50. But yesterday when we were interviewing, so we did an interview yesterday with Robbie from AFTV, and I was telling the guys in the room. My first interaction with Robbie was as an artist, and how I'd gone back to the UK, and Robbie was there. Now I had the #1 reggae song in the UK.
Wow.
Like, and his song was called "Proud to Be Black." So the guys in the room were like, "Okay." Then I interfaced with him as a radio presenter because he was the only person playing reggae on the radio station.
Yeah.
And then I said, now we've interfaced with him as the owner of AFTV. So there's 3 different phases of how people interface. It's the same with 50. 50 has got that so many different levels. Like for some people, 50 is just a funny guy on social media, on the internet.
A troll. Yeah.
You know what I mean? A troll.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So it's one of those ones. So I think a 50 concert in Kenya is the holy grail, bro.
Yeah, I think if we really need a concert like 50, if he's really saying about like world tour, right? Bro, he did a show in India.
Yeah.
Last year, Mumbai, Delhi.
By the way, 50 can do a show in Kenya.
100.
Because the reason is, it's like Chris Brown couldn't come because of all of the flying through the air shit. 50 ain't trying that shit at 50. 50 just wants a stage, a microphone,
A
bulletproof vest, and sound.
Bro, we had Fabulous, man. We can definitely have
50.
Oh, we had Fabulous.
We had Fabo.
Oh, thingy.
That was Skate City, yeah?
Skate City.
Yeah, it was there.
Yeah.
So we can definitely have 50.
Yeah.
50
was
50 you can't do that Skate City.
But yeah,
50
you need a
needs
stadium.
a proper
Stadium, yeah.
Stadium.
Yeah, 50 bro.
Nah,
Even all of my
Skate
guys in here.
Bro,
Do you remember 50
How
t-shirts?
much do
Everybody
you
had
think
a
the tickets
50
are going to go for? How much do you think the tickets are going to go for?
50.
Of course.
More than 10.
You know, let's not get into
Exactly. So I
tickets.
don't think they'd give him like a big location. Like
50?
Yeah.
You're
Just
mad.
because of that. No, let's be honest, bro.
50
How many
cent.
people do you think in this current economic times are going to afford a regular
Bro,
ticket?
don't
for
bring
what?
economic times into this.
Give me
People have money.
Give me the price of a regular ticket.
Okay,
At
cool.
50.
Now,
Yeah,
if you want to go
I reckon
economic
an
times, let's
estimate,
go.
an estimate.
Listen, let me tell you this, right? In hard economic times, people want escapism. Sin does not go out
That's
of.
fine.
Yes.
Give me an estimation
So I'm saying
of a regular ticket.
So I'm saying 50. 50.
$5?
Wait. 50 at a venue that can hold in excess of 10,000 people. Because you have to work backwards, like. So I'm saying if 50 is in a venue that can hold more than 10,000 people, I'm thinking regular starts at 3K. And I'm saying VIP packages go way up the scale. You get me? Because the thing about it is the thing there's two things that work against us. We don't get the numbers that other places get. So for example, UG can pull out 15,000-20,000 people, so you can have a slightly cheaper ticket.
Yeah.
Us guys, we know that even we're balling around the levels of 4,000 to 5,000 people. So even when you pull out the stops, if you're going for 20,000 people, you're gonna have to reduce the regular guys' tickets. Like you're gonna have to do it. So but I think 50 could work because yes, he'd come with his backline and his entourage, but he's from that generation of I don't see him trying to come out of the thing and being upside down. I see him going on the stage and saying, "Nairobi, what up?" and just going through his catalog with a DJ. You know what I'm trying to say?
It's not that
So we're
complicated.
sticking for 3.
I'd say 3 upwards because even you know what, something else I've noticed. I don't know if you guys have noticed, right? Apart from his show in Jamaica, which was 50-50 that in terms of production, Cartel's going around the world with a DJ. So all of these artists will be like, "Yo, I can't perform without my band." My man is going around the world with DJ Chrome.
I think that's what Nyashinsky was trying to do or start with the last edition of Blankets. No, cause you remember how the internet was worked up after that Nyashinsky performance, you know. But everybody could dip it. Like you even use an example of Kendrick Lamar. How many concerts or how many times has Nyashinsky performed with a live band? We've been there when he's
Almost all the
performing.
time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this one time he's performing with a DJ, and you can also consider Nyashinsky to be kind of a hip hop artist, not tied down to a hip hop artist, but he can get into his bag as a hip hop artist. Meaning, even locally, hip hop, you name it, he can go out there with a DJ, him as the MC, and just do their own thing. So the same way you're saying Vibes is going around with his DJ. Even guys back in the day, Big used to go around with his DJ.
Let's not go too far. Fam, I remember I went to Rwanda to watch Kendrick. I did not know there was no band until after, because I remember we're now like,
but that's hip hop. That's how it is.
The sound was so fucking good.
You
so
can't
when
tell
you're
the
saying
difference.
Vibes going round,
Yes, you see,
it's very possible.
But then even Conscience, when Conscience performed, it's half DJ, half
band.
Because here's the thing. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember when Vegas came.
Mr. Vegas.
Do you remember when Vegas came and he did Uhuru Gardens? Bro, they had like 20,000 guys there because it was like Jipange was like some sort of
the Jipange campaign.
that one there, right?
Yeah.
Bro, I watched it on TV because you know crowds are me. But here's the thing, the crowd were lost. Because when you hear heads high on a digital dancehall rhythm, then you hear a band trying to go jump, 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 jump. You're like, what the fuck is this? Like, you get me? So you see the reason when, for example, Conscience will sound so good when he's in concert is because it's half digital, half live. You get me?
I agree.
So, and then the guys have got something to play around. So for 50 to come on a DJ, I don't see nothing wrong with it.
I don't think 50 can work with a band, man. Like he can, but he shouldn't. I can't listen to.
The thing is, if 50 is gonna work with a band, it has to be a special thing. It's
Super
like
Bowl.
No, not even Super Bowl. It's got to be like 50 Cent presents Get Rich or Die Trying in symphony.
The orchestra.
So it has to be like
special.
Like,
You've seen the ones on,
like in the UK,
the Red Bull ones, the ones they've been doing.
Symphonic.
Or what
sounds so
Metro
good.
did with
Yes,
his album.
same, Red Bull.
Yeah.
So those sound so good, and the production that goes into it is very intentional.
Yes.
You get what I mean? Like you can't have
It's
guys just on
artistic.
stage. It's very
So
different.
you're saying 50 coming through with a DJ?
couple of his brethren, boom, let's go.
Yeah,
So
you know,
regular tickets
bring out-
somewhere 3 to 5K.
He's always with who? Yeyo. No, who's the one who's always in Yeyo?
That's there as
All
well.
I know,
Yeah. So that would be a good one. I hope because it's all gearing up to his 50th, July. I hope for now after he decides.
Let me give you a joke. So last weekend, us guys had gone to watch basketball, right?
Yeah.
And this is why I know 50 at 50 can work, right? And he ain't gonna want no whole production. So Kibz was sitting a bit further. Andy was sitting next to me, bro. So we were in this sort of
Floor side.
No, we weren't floor side because apparently floor side.
No seats for the players.
It's for the what?
For the players at
The players and apparently VIP because we saw Andy, so we went to where Andy was, right? So at some point, Andy's now doing content, flips on a t-shirt, jumps over the barriers, goes and does his thing. And I actually, for the first time in my life, sat there thinking, there's no way at my age am I jumping the fuck over that barrier. And it was the quickest way to go out. It was like the quickest way. Because even me, I would
start making people stand up and then you pass.
Because to get out, you'd have to disturb so many people. So he was just, and I thought to myself, yeah, G, quick.
Yeah.
Nah,
Because
bro.
Jim in sitting had to rest kidogo. He had to stand, stretch kidogo.
This is not jumping over.
No.
Those
The seats are like
the plastic ones.
And the crazy thing,
So imagine it's like a terrace and you're sat like at the third, fourth level. So there's still some distance, you know. So by the time you jump, it's not at the floor is just there at that level. The floor is way down, you know. So you'd have to
But
jump.
10 years ago, I would have considered it.
So let me
Because
ask
Ronnie did the same thing. So we were sat next to Ronnie and Ronnie did the same thing.
Ronnie just jumped over.
So let me ask you guys, right? I've been to the gymnasium where you can play basketball by Kasarani.
Also, I made
years
just
ago.
going out to the Nairobi City Thunder squad.
Yeah, man.
Doing an
There's
amazing
going to be
job.
watch parties all over this. I saw, right?
Yeah.
BL is in Kigali this weekend.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah, that'll be a proper one.
Nice.
Proper. So I was about to ask you, how comes you don't do it at Kasarani? Because the stadium over there is a bit.
Can I say, as my first basketball game in Kenya, right? Fam, like, if there's anything we need to do is just to respect the game a bit more because, fam, that gym, when I got there, they were mopping, they paused the game and they were mopping the floor because the roof was leaking.
The roof was leaking, man.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Really?
And then I thought to myself, is this a now stadium that they've said they've refurbished? And I fell into a puddle on the way there, like a big ass.
My man walked in wet
So-
as fuck.
What?
It was terrible. It was terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a horrible place.
Yeah,
to
but
watch
they've
basketball.
not invested in basketball in Kenya for like the longest time because most of the teams are also teams from banks like
Right.
KCB,
MBK,
Equity, NBK, and they're treating it as an CSR. Nika CSR. How I treat ka Bible. So what Thunder are doing is there kuna investors, kuna a lot going on.
Yeah, business.
And they went on an unbeaten run last season.
Imagine how old season
Yeah,
was.
so it's a wake-up call for everyone. They're like, what do you mean?
They're undefeated in like what, 2 years or something like that.
Yes, bro.
That's dope. So I'm glad that you're going for the BL. You're gonna see the investment that they've put up. And then you'll see the stadium right next with the football stadium they've just opened. You love it.
And then you'll come back saying to yourself, boy.
Yeah, I know, right?
and the thing about it is, you know what? The craziest thing is, it's like, I feel that sometimes, you know, whenever you speak on something that's not working, like for example, we can say, like, I don't know about Kasarani, I've not been there. Some people say it's better for the court, but the atmosphere is not as good because you're further back from the court, right?
Way.
You're far, right?
Yeah.
So my thing is this: at the end of the day, it's like when you go to Rwanda and you see their basketball arena and you see their stadium, you think to yourself, just why not in Kenya? Why?
Simple things that could be fixed overnight or in a week or in a month.
You know what's crazy? The story about the basketball arena
in Rwanda.
And BK Arena and what Masai did. So he had the plan drawn up and he wanted to present it to Kagame. But for some reason, he could never get access to Kagame. So when Kagame was in New York for one of those things, he organized for him to get tickets to come to a game. And he sat next to him and he was like, yo, I've been trying to get a meeting with you.
Wow.
And these are the plans and everything. And the guy saw them and he's like, really? He was like, boom, come through. So when you see the designing of the arena is you could pick it up and take it anywhere.
Yes.
Because it's been built by a guy
Experts.
who's actually been in basketball. Like when you're at that arena, bro, the floor seats are literally, even the way they take out the floor of the court, and it's now, just bare like black. Now you can do your concert and everything. The
multi-purpose.
sound, you know, that whole the screen in the middle.
Yeah.
Yo, they've done a perfect job. So
We
by
have-
the
we have
time
a
like
long
now
way to
we're
go.
getting like now when we're doing it over here, we don't need none of this. What do you call it? Benchmarking where guys a whole bunch of MPs are going
Just
to
get someone who knows how to do it.
yeah, it doesn't need to be that. Yo, let those guys in legislature stick to laws, which we need them to do. Get guys who are actually in sports.
Technocrats.
Yes, to actually do it.
We have a long way to go because I remember the last time this squad was in Rwanda going to represent us for some games, or they were meant to go to Rwanda, and you are seeing they're scheduled to play, I think it was Tunisia at a particular time, and then later on you get onto social media maybe to follow up, see what's going on, because these are your guys, you know, representing you and that, and news is out that these guys are still in the country. They have to forfeit that game.
There was one where they were going to, I think it was either Egypt or Morocco, because I remember that because my pal was in the team, and these guys arrived like they arrived after their first game.
I think that's the same
and they
one.
lost their second and
Because
third game.
tired, bro.
Yeah, I think that's the same one. Wasn't Rwanda? Imagine, bro, you guys are supposed to be traveling. You have worked so hard. You have put in the work as a
The
team,
qualification.
as a squad
Yeah.
to do all this, but then it's undone when you guys are now supposed to be enjoying the benefits of your work.
Yeah.
You know,
And this is beyond you. There's nothing you guys can do about
and
it.
Did you see that? I don't know. I mean, this was a couple of weeks ago, but did you see there was a story where the guys who were building the stadium at Talanta had refused to work?
Yeah.
because they hadn't been paid.
Payment.
Yeah. I
So
saw
there's,
that.
there's so much going on, man.
But you know the crazy thing is, you said we've got a long way to go, right?
Yeah.
Let me just stick a pin in that, right? I don't think so. We actually need to really formalize and take things seriously. And I'll use an example. When you have an election coming up, right, and they have all of this IT stuff that they need to do, what do they call biometrics and everything, bro? No one from no particular field is coming in to play around with that. It's taken very seriously, right?
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
When we're doing sports and we're saying basketball, get some guys who know. If we're doing health, let's get people who actually know.
No, you're right.
Like, it's like, here's the thing, for roads in Kenya, why the hell do we have a bunch of MPs who never even did physics or anything going for benchmarking? It doesn't make sense. You have a whole institution like Kenha and all of these guys.
With engineers.
Engineers.
Yeah.
Those are the people who should be going to like, oh, okay, let's go to China Bridge and and see what they're doing in China. Like, we gotta be serious.
But bro, end of the day, at least we're making some serious steps in the right direction. You know why I would say that?
Wow.
Because I mean, for example, look at Kabogo socks. Like that's a really exceptional movement in the right direction. Why were they trolling Kabogo, Calvin? Like, Wagwan,
I don't know. I'm hearing about Kabogo right now. You
It's
tell
a
me.
meme and it's Kabogo. First of all, I don't know what qualifications he has to be the CS of
ICT, yeah.
ICT. Like, is he an IT guy?
No.
Or do you? Or you don't even need to be.
Well,
Maybe Mindo Sielewi.
have you seen the CS of Aden Duale is the CS for medical, for health.
Does he
right?
know the alifanya medicine? Ama you don't need to. Ama I'm the
I think at some levels you don't necessarily need to be a specialist in that
You need
particular
to be
thing.
competent.
Yes, and maybe managerial skills and all that. There are some facets that you can be good at, and you can be able to do things that guys who are specialists maybe can't do it. So you're bringing two things together that can make this whole project work.
But now imagine a specialist who's good at management.
Yeah, now you see,
Maybe-
that can go a longer way. I'm with you on that.
But on
I'm
the
with you on that.
Kabogo story and the picture, it's just the meme, bro.
It's a meme,
Like,
but you
it's
know,
the meme.
but you
What's
know,
the
guys,
meme?
but you know,
What's the
guys,
picture?
it's him spread with
Spreading-
khaki
yeah,
pants,
amekai.
spread his legs with socks that look like, you know, those scout
Are we
socks.
putting a visual on the screen?
Look for those scout, you know, the scout socks, right? And brown shoes that look like safari boots. The guy looked like he was like, hey, I'm about to be on office, and then I might have to hit the national park.
Right.
Just in case, And you know, just guys have been questioning his, because you know, he's the what do you call it? The cabinet secretary for ICT.
For ICT.
ICT is one of those sectors that is very young in this country. There's a lot of guys, you know, there's a lot that's happening.
guys what?
So guys have been asking, bro, who's this?
Yeah.
So guys were even asking, bro, does this guy know what Python this is?
There's one I saw
Yana
where
Nyoka.
ati, ati hiyo chrome iko wapi tu you know cause there's chrome Mozilla Fire.
No, he was being asked, can we use Chrome? He's like, Miss Kunywagi Makali. So guys have just been trolling him.
Oh, is this the picture here?
Yeah, that's a picture of him with the socks. Like, you know how crazy this is.
Hold on, where was this?
This is in his office.
In his office?
Yeah.
Like he's gone to work like that?
Yeah, bro.
Our ICT guy?
Yeah. Look at those socks. And then there's another time he's wearing.
Comments.
No, let me tell you something. In another outfit, another fit, those socks are fire still.
I know, bro.
If he was in shorts,
Honestly, this
it looked like a colonizer.
This is giving Buju just about to get onto stage to perform. That's what it's giving. Just to be honest, he looks like a reggae artist or something.
But he's getting trolled
Don't knock it
a
off.
lot.
No. Let's be fair. Those socks are fire.
To you, to Jamaicans, yes. To us,
Oh
maybe
wow,
as a
it's
scout.
like that. So that's how Scout socks look.
No, the Scout
Back in
socks kind
school,
of look like that.
brownish. But the
okay,
rest of the art is also kind of beige, so makes sense.
So
And black
he was
shoes.
getting trolled for that, and guys have just been questioning his what do you call it? His
suitability.
his suitability, right? But here's the thing, just to answer your question about like CS and what, right? CS is you can be a CS anywhere. You're the guy who's sitting at the cabinet meetings and briefing the president, but the actual guys who are doing the job are the PS. Yeah, so the PS are the
Level of accountability.
Accountability. They're even the guys who sign and all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
hopefully he has a team behind him that can pick some better socks.
yeah.
Right.
Clearly.
Now we have a problem in Kenya. 60% of the booze consumed in Kenya is illicit, apparently. I need clarification here.
Yeah.
Is this traditional brew or is this that fake brew?
This
just
is liquor.
Like mzinga on the shelf, hiyo unapata ni fake.
Oh, really?
Like that's what's happening. Like, because some of my friends, there's a time we used to drink at West Mall, Kitambo. And bruh, the drinks there were slapping like nonsense, bro. Like we were even like, you can drink this. I don't want to mention any alcohol because I do some job with some alcohol.
Yep.
Bruh, hiyo pombe ulikuwa unasikia inashika duko like hii pombe huku iko na nini like
What's different about
it's
this?
better than in the club.
So let me give you guys the details, right? So there's a what do you call it? There's a report that's done by Euromonitor. So Euromonitor do reports about like alcohol consumption each and every year. They'll tell you, okay, this year spirits were being drunk. Like I remember at some point in 2018 when gin was on the come up. So guys the Euromonitor report will say this and this. Like they even have like different awards. Diageo's been doing this, PRK, all of the different ones, Hennessy and all of those, right? So it says over 60% of alcohol consumed in Kenya in 2024 was illicit, with sales valued at 204 billion. So this is a report according to the Euromonitor.
Wow.
That's a lot.
That's the amount of money these guys are.
Let me tell you one thing I know for a fact. Yeah, I drink a particular type of whiskey, and I've drunk it for a long time. And I can tell you there's a time I was in Kisumu and bought a bottle, and it came to the table, and I was just like, yo, this
ain't the one.
This ain't the one. Especially if you're used to like a more flavorful type of whiskey and stuff. You just know.
You can tell.
Oh, but it's not only a problem in Kenya though.
Yeah.
Because in Hong Kong, when I was there the other day with Jess ended up like sick for a whole day.
Yeah.
And we were just like, yo, something just ain't right with this. So I ended up drinking beer that night because I was like, you can hardly go wrong with beer. So I wasn't on the spirit.
You know why I'd kind of agree with you and see that it's not just a problem in Kenya is this, right? So there's particular brands that you probably consume, and the sole importer is like the companies that you know. But there's guys who import some of these spirits from different parts of the world, and different parts of the world, the closest spot is usually Dubai, right? So a lot of people bring in their stuff from Dubai. And so for me, one of the things that I always do, like say for instance, I'm having a bottle, is like I'll look out for the KRA sticker, I'll scan it. There've been instances where you'll scan it and it's not taking you anywhere. You get what I mean? Yeah, it's not taking you. But also, like, I know my whiskey. Like, I'll be like, okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like, I know my whiskey, but also, if I know this is the importer, I know what signs to look out for. You get what I mean? So you got to be one of those guys who knows. And you know, like I've been seeing a lot of, and just to that kind of shift, right? It's like the other day there was a video of a particular cognac. These guys were in Meru and they told the barman, hey, give us that bottle, that empty cognac bottle, and they're filling it up with a whiskey.
Wow.
You get what I mean? And now they're like, yo, kwani nyie hamlipwi enough kukunywa hii? Now they're balling, right? But you know, you can tell the difference between a whiskey and a cognac.
Right.
You know what I mean, right? And now, so you gotta be careful. And also, it's one of those things where, you know, as you could probably go to a table,
right,
and guys pour you a drink, and you'd been having a drink
somewhere else,
and you can't even tell.
I have a question though. You said that something like in your case, you got this this drink and it slapped more than
it slaps
usual.
like the shikamba.
Right?
So you got higher quick.
Is that
quick.
that a problem?
I know, that's exactly what I was saying. Like sometimes maybe you guys are just not like, especially Kitambo, like you just don't have enough money to buy so many mzingas. So one illicit one,
right,
equals to 3.
Can go a long way.
Short mbili tatu. But the only problem is you might get blind.
But you
that's
know, here's the thing, bro. It's a big issue.
It's a big problem.
It's a big problem. Like when you go, you know, guys talk about this light industry stories, and everybody just says it. Yo, light industry is light industry. Talk to someone who's been there. Yo, when you're told the stories, fam, this shit is crazy. You think it's just alcohol, cigarettes, ngumu.
Women.
You know these ngumus that guys kula? Bro, there's a homie of mine who was telling me the flour, the dough's been made. The guys are stepping barefoot. On the
He'll
like
even
wine.
put panties there.
Panties, not for that.
Or for Changa is what I
for Changa, those for Mama Pima. I don't know about that. It's a very romantic story.
They put it in parties. Especially the ones you've worn for like 3 days.
Oh man.
That's crazy.
I think at this rate, like the Ministry of Health needs to like put out litmus papers for guys to buy, and then whenever you go to the club, you're a rock up. You remember like when you're doing chemistry, and then you want to test whether this is acidic or basic, you know. So they need to give us like litmus papers to do that litmus test before you drink something.
Also, a lot more people are not drinking. Like a lot. I'd say younger people.
You know, here's the thing. Here's the thing.
For not drinking.
That story is actually, I beg to differ.
Okay.
In terms of people drinking?
I beg to differ, and it's a narrative that has been pushed quite a bit.
Don't beg.
And a lot of people have now come out and said, okay, you know what? Let's change that narrative. Here's the thing. Guys in Nai may not be drinking, may be using other things. Or, you know, Jabba juice, what, all of those. I don't need to name them. But guys in Shags don't have the access that you have here.
Right.
Guys are still catching pints. And you guys are not more than the guys in Shags. Like, speak to a guy like Grouchy, bro. When he's gigging in a new Kimeru, what? He can tell you. When you even see those videos, guys are tossing back. So this whole thing of a it's not 100% factual. Like, they might be in Nai Sawa. But I'm telling you, if you zunguka this country, bro, come on.
I think
you'll see it.
Niliteki was more maybe millennials and Gen Zs. And it's because they are broke.
I mean,
there's that as well.
Theater broke per se. The thing is, because there's an app, I've just forgotten the name, but the app actually tells you how many days you've been sober.
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah, that's an app for everybody. Yeah, for everybody. If you want to do a sobriety journey. But you see, that's for you who's made a choice.
Yes.
Hey, I want to be sober.
I've not used it for a while, but I used to use it in this.
You need will for that app to work. And an app is not going to tell you not to drink.
No, but
it's
you know
not
what?
Gonna stop you, so you need will for that one.
You need will for one. But once you hit like 60 days on it, you just don't want to break it. Like it becomes more of, and I guess obviously the longer you do it, the more strong willpower you get.
That's what she said.
Because for me, when I got to like 40 days in December, I was like, yeah. But then when
you drank.
Then I hit, but you know what? Another thing about alcohol now, like even last night I had a couple shots, right? Just 1 or 2 shots. Bruh, I'm so used to waking up without a hangover now that this morning I woke up, I felt terrible. Like that's when I called Kibz. By the way, can I tell people
2 shots was
I'm telling you, can I tell people what happened, right? So yesterday, was it 2 shots? It might have been a few
it's
more.
a bit hazy now.
I watched a video where he was saying, I'm telling you, I was like, yeah, nigga.
You always know that it's like a safe word for your body. that one word.
I knew that projection of the voice. I was like,
By the way, when I was telling Lowton that on the video, I drank after the guys left. Yeah, I drank a few just to take me down after the guys left.
This one's a dangerous.
But this morning, it was anyway, some brand. But yeah, so what happened today was when I woke up, I said to Kibz, like, yo, Kibz, are you free this afternoon? Like, yeah, I need you on the podcast. But I didn't tell him that he'd be covering for me.
Yeah.
And then Ash drops the bombshell. I won't be able to make it. I'm like, fuck.
No,
I have to go in anyway.
but yeah, but
But you're welcome still, yeah?
So that story about alcohol, it's a big battle, and like even when Gachagua was president, when he was fighting it, like when he was vice president,
like in the mountain.
In the mountain.
But I'll tell you a story about that by the end.
But it's crazy. That whole fight has been there. When you even remember, you guys remember about Senator Keg.
The Keg.
Senator Keg. When Senator Keg was being introduced, right? It was for the fight against illicit brew.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is why it was valued at 15.25 bob. Bro, hey, me, I remember one time we choppered that Senator Keg. Me and my cousin, Bana. We used to go, you remember when 1 liter soda was in a glass bottle?
Yeah.
Manze, we used to be...
Bambucha.
But no, Coke, Bambucha, before plastic.
Okay.
We're going back there because
Glass.
Glass. We used to go Pale Woodley, with Jaziwad, the 1 liter. I remember one particular day, me and my cousin were chilling. He used to stay in Fort Jesus, so I've gone to kick it with him. So Fort Jesus next to Woodley. So we've woken up, 9 o'clock on a Friday, lights are gone. We're like, what are we gonna do? My cousin says, okay, cool, let's go play pool. We go chase a pool in Toy Market, we make some money. We go back, we're like, okay, bro, 12 o'clock. Lights haven't come back, what are we gonna do? We went to that keg place. We were jaziwad. I think by that time ilikuwa maybe like a sock or something. You've jazzed the thing. Now you guys are over there, put it in a brown bag.
Na keg.
Yeah, keg. So you guys are now feeling like your boys in the hood. In a brown bag.
Right.
You give me sips. I've never felt so embarrassed in my life. Because when we were seated out there at that 9 o'clock, before we went to play pool, there's a tenant my cousins used to have who left and went to work. By the time she was coming back, she found us seated there at like 4 or 5 o'clock. And she asked us, Muko too? You know, it never hit us until then. She did not know we had walked and gone and played pool. We had made money. We'd bought a padlock because there was a meter that was almost being stolen. Like we'd grinded. But her judgment was,
She saw you there.
They just sat there all day. But we'd gone, we'd played pool, we'd walked, we'd done something.
This is like when your mom tells you to wash the dishes and then she's coming back home, the dishes haven't been washed.
Speaking of what Rigathi was doing, like fighting alcohol in the mountain and nini. So where I stay, you just said Kitisuru, Kombele.
Those green areas.
Huko tu
Lower Ankole.
hapo Lower Ankole.
You know what I'm saying? Like every time I see this guy post on Snapchat in the morning, I find myself, is this guy leaving Nairobi again? He's on the way home.
But there's a place where, because iko Kiambu County, literally. So when you go further in, there's a small town called Kambe, if I'm not wrong. Kambe. So nimeenda huko.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Oh, really?
Kambe. Yeah.
Kambe loosely translating Kikuyu to like any town.
Oh, yeah, that's the name of the place I had. Yeah.
Okay.
So y'all gonna give me stripes, bro. Hey, I know this shit, man.
Because at that point, it was
if you are
late.
right. I don't know if you are right.
No, it's true. It's true.
Okay.
It was late and I was looking for a bottle of alcohol. Got after gin. Guys had come over to my place. So I told them I know a town because I've gone there during the day. It's usually just chill. But
Are you close to Mwamuto?
Yes, iko close to Mimuto. Yeah, uko ndani. So when I went there that night, bro, your place ni zombie town, man. Like literally kila mtu ako drunk. Like hata ma driver, ma conductor, everyone is drunk. In fact, there are some people who are just sleeping down. They're like every shop, there are like 20 shops CV, another 30 or something. There's another club. All of them have just like illicit brew, like kuna changa, kuna keg, kuna everything. And then I went to a place that looks kind of presentable. Then I was going to buy a mzinga, but then ikifika hapo, everyone else is drinking some small bottle, nani blue ice, imandiko blue ice. Kumbe, what they do is they have a lot of that, but then they package changa in that. So guys are buying, but they're not really buying that liquor. Blue ice. They're buying changa. Because I literally saw them pour some in a bottle. When I package hapo nyuma, like hapo tu nyuma, when I was buying the drink. Eventually siku buy. Okay, nilibuy moja. And
this nigga.
By the way, it was tasting so different from what you were drinking.
How was the high?
Bro, nilipiga shot moja nikachia wase. Of course, I have some of my friends who wanted the high vizuri, went with it, but it's a different taste, bro. It burns.
Nairobi is a very interesting city, and hence why, like, here's the thing. I'm one of those guys, and no shade. Like, I'm not even paid to do this, bro. Me, if I'm ordering like now my liquor in the digs, me order it from the bar. Right? Why? Because I know it comes from the distributor. Like straight, there's no sijui where.
No story.
Yeah, like I know it's coming from Roavia, Tony West, those guys. And those guys get it directly from my guys. Like no shade, right? But I remember one time I had a meeting in a particular building, and that building has a club. So before the meeting, I got there early. I was like, let me grab lunch over here. I see what's up. Bro, I remember walking into that club and the barman was pouring a bottle of gin into another bottle of gin.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I looked at it. The guy didn't even
flinch.
Yeah. And he continued. And I said to myself, fuck this.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And for me, at that particular point, I was like, so now I was thinking about that. And I mean, it was two brands. One is just cheaper than another. And you know how those bottles are, right? And I just thought to myself, so this is one of those things where either management knows or this guy is doing it to pocket some
I'm sure
money.
Management knows. It's too marginal for you to benefit directly from it. Like
I can see why, and hence why I was thinking about it. I was like, okay, cool. Cocktails. You probably say, hey, I want this kind of cocktail, and they're pouring you that, and you think it's a particular brand, but it's different kind of brand. And for me, hence why, when you go to Coast for these hotels and they tell you the bottomless thing.
But they always use cheap.
They tell you they're using that Safari gin and what you get. At least those ones they're not serving you no premium. Whatever
liquor.
Yeah, and that shit is.
I just think that we live in a world where everything is up to be counterfeited, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because it's like, even if you think about it, like with all these tariffs and trade wars and guys making fake brands and stuff, I feel like we're just gonna get to a point where whatever works for you just works for you.
Yeah.
Because it's like, for example, I look at it this way, right? I like watches, right? Do I have a Patek? No. But when I look at it, I'm saying to myself, man, there's a Patek here where the only difference is it's not a Patek.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like and
automatic.
It's one of those ones. So I feel like even for like cars and I just feel like we're just in, like, I swear to God, half of the parts you use to fix your car, your guys are telling you these are original parts. They're just somewhere from somewhere.
True story. Remember when I was telling you about my battery?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So I had to change the battery of my car. The last battery I bought was chloride. I think it must have been 5,400 or some shit, maybe 2019 or anything. So I had to change the battery for a BMW. The cost I was told, I was like, hii inaweza fanya kazi.
Iendelee tu.
Iendelee. Then they tell me, it has to use AGM. AGM is what it comes with. The voltage, amperes, what. Hey, I was like, boss. And boss, what's the equivalent? The equivalent, now you're being told of things like Bosch.
Alternatives.
You're being told of things like Bosch. And these batteries are going for like 60K.
Mad.
God damn.
Imagine, 60, 64.
Mad.
If it dies, man, I'm going to gun those guys, because for 60K,
bro, no. They tell you, and this is probably
the guy in warranty though.
They're giving you warranty, right? But you imagine in fucking 64K for a battery, and then my guy in that was telling me, Mudos, tuko na ingine inaitwa Din 1 sijui nini, inatoka ngiri 20. You're like,
alafu umenunua battery, umeenda kupark gari basement ya parking kule Parklands, and then it rains. And then the whole car is drenched in water.
it's here's the thing. Like, a battery is internal, right? The car may look good and everything. Who really fucking knows what battery it has? You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's one of those things.
Have
now,
anything.
you'll have a Mac. Gee, you know what I'm saying? The Mac will tell you, okay, this is not the original. The original is supposed to be AGM. It's supposed to have this wattage. This is a different kind of battery, and it has the same wattage and everything. But you're like, you know, it's a decision that you make. Yeah, but it's a world we live in, man.
Mad.
Unaendesha BMW na engine ya Toyota, and keep it moving, man.
Bruh.
I always tell people that like the most cost effective car I've ever owned is a Toyota. Like
100%.
swear by it. Like when I had my Toyota Wish, I had zero chills about going anywhere in that car. What are you laughing about? What are you laughing about? This man don't know. That
wish was a tour van, bana. We're going Kisumu Jizin behind Jerry. He's asleep in the whole of it, bro. Me and Muko in the kaboot seat.
Yeah. Bro, that Wish, because you know, because it's so long, when those seats go back, they go back, bro. That Wish, like, for now, I actually wish that I had like a around town Wish. And that car had sound, but that was my last loud car.
So why have you never gone back to a Toyota?
Because I know I'm in the process of going back to a Toyota.
Yo, let me tell you this. Like I have said this, I think, before on the podcast. My Toyota Passo, I got on hand. What do you say?
Hand on heart.
Hand on heart. I could never see myself ever selling that car. I get a lot of people give me offers, but bro, I tell you guys, the fact that you can interchange that car, the engine, with like 50K. Guys usually tell me.
Could you change the engine in your car already?
I have, yeah. Guys, like the other day, my mech was like, thermostat, the day died in Upper Hill. Thermostat imekufa. I'm like, kuna shida. Thermostat ni how much? The guy tells me, ni expensive. I'm like, how much? The guy tells me he's called a guy in Ukotao. 3.5. I'm like, bro, 3.5. Yo, those things, as in, it's the best shit ever.
Bro, you don't want to hear about a thermostat in a BMW.
I am not interested. Thermostat for 3.5. And then nice. you know now when you get all of these spare parts, they always put like a marker of paint. Bro, shock absorbers, you can even get ex-Japan, all of these things. All those cars are beautiful. But now the problem with them is now you peleka ituko grog on your katoyo. Your catalytic is stolen. Yeah, they're still in those things in the exhaust. Yeah, bro. Mine I found out was stolen some years back.
But it's still moving though. We move regardless.
No, but now you know it always has a constant check engine light. No, so the other day I was like, yo, I need to show it some love. These guys were telling me so that catalytic market is beef. Wow. The guys are selling them for like almost like 10 G's.
Wow.
Hot cake.
Yeah.
Andy,
Struggles they can't relate.
You were away for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You need to come back with your own brand of madness. What have you got for us this week?
Damn, I was really hoping Ashley was going to be here today because I have something wild as for her. But maybe there's someone who had sent me something before the last podcast I was here, so I didn't get a chance to share it with you guys. Maybe we can get into that one first. So this guy says, hey Andy, I'm a huge fan of the pod. I don't know if you'll want to ask the guys about this, but I'd really love to hear your opinion about it. Last week, you mentioned something about religion and how it's among the things that have really changed how you view things. I'm really having a hard time going back to church, especially coming from a family that is going to church, and this is the reason that is keeping me away. I've become so comfortable that it doesn't bother me when they go to church and I don't. I haven't really told them about how I feel about this, and it's been a long time. What do you guys say?
Just move how you want to move. Like, I feel that, like, I mean, I can only speak for myself, and I've said it too many times in this podcast. Going to church is just a lot of pressure. Like, I found as when I had to go to church, I hated it. Like, I literally hated it.
As a former church goer,
you used to go every week.
What happened? You used to post
I moved out, bro.
Those
I moved out.
plastic seats.
The mom used to threaten you.
Nah,
So you used to go because you was at your mom's.
yeah, because the house has been. You'd rather go continue drinking, but no one's.
This was that church in South B, the big one.
Winners Chapel.
Yeah,
Likoni Road.
Yeah,
It's on Likoni Road.
Off my
It used to be
Yeah.
at Satellite. But then there's a new branch now.
Oh, Winners Chapel, that's the one.
Yeah.
They have another one in Adams Arcade.
Yeah, and Ilea Satellite, it's still there.
Oh, they used to give free transport to that church.
Yes, free transport every
From
morning.
Tao to the church.
Tao to
bro, so
church,
if you ever need to go to Toy Market on a Sunday, bro, then wow.
Yeah, but the thing is, I used to go because of her. No. Like, not that I'm not religious or anything. I believe in God now. Like, God himself wangu, nacheki. But the thing is, I feel like it was not coming really.
Inaitwa ni venye umepata pesa bana.
haiko
You hearing this guy, but he's got the money. It's like at your church, right?
No, haiko inatoka from the heart. I feel like God will call you to church akikuita. But I feel like I didn't hear the call.
Zile time ulikuwa na shoot content. Mungu, please. Then he calls you, is like, yo, join homeboys. Lord, please, chill.
Check it, Lord. Umeshadipenda nilikuwa nataka.
When's the last time you went to church? Like, not for a wedding or a funeral, just for church.
Hey, bro.
And why?
Who said Jesus?
No.
When's the last time you went to church?
It must have been 2018.
Hey, before
Yeah, 2018.
No, didn't you go to church in Ghana? Or somewhere?
Oh, yeah, New Year's. Yes. We were there for 10 minutes.
But yeah, exactly.
No, that one doesn't count.
No. But you know, in Ghana, everybody goes to
That one
church.
doesn't count.
No, we went.
This
I
is
prayed
during the festive
to God.
season.
Yo,
No.
bro, and that church is like famous, right? The pastor, I'll get you guys the name of that pastor. Yo, he's a reformed criminal. Like when he was even holding the mic, 2 of his fingers are cut. Like he's holding it like.
Why did your accent change over there, man? Like you went gangster.
Yeah, bro, you know, like I was like, yo, you know that guy now, he's pressing his trigger like he holds the gun. You can't see nothing. It's
Oh
just,
my God.
Yeah, so apparently there whatever. But I'm trying to go back to church, but on a personal note, I've also forgotten how to pray.
Come on.
No,
Now,
for real.
now you're doing so well.
No, like guys,
how do you forget to pray?
Guys, hear me out. Like I'm not here to cup.
Is it that you don't pray or you've forgotten? Like, how can you
No,
forget how to pray?
I just
You're a
don't-
radio presenter, like a link. Open the mic.
You know, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you guys my struggle, right? Like I will start to pray and forget and start thinking about other things.
Like what?
Haga. You're praying, then some ass starts
no.
in your face. You're like, oh shit.
So what I'm currently doing is like intentionally when I wake up, before, like today, practically as we speak, today I woke up, my phone was on the other pillow, I picked it up, I started looking, then I was like, no, say a prayer. So I prayed and it was like intentional words, and I'm going back to, like, you know how I just say a simple prayer, the grace. My prayers are not complicated.
I feel like sometimes I feel like people look at prayer like how Arsenal looks at scoring goals. They're looking for the perfect goal and the perfect.
No, but you see, for me, it's a judgment of how comes, Calvin, your prayers have not grown.
What do you mean grown?
But that's a good one. What do
You know, when I say grown, it's like when me and my mother pray together.
Right.
Like she's so elaborate. She'll even, you know,
She got a PhD, bro.
Mid the prayer, she's like, you know, let's read this scripture and what. Like I love how people pray like that. But for me, I want to get to that level of prayer.
They don't teach you that in
guys,
theology.
here's the thing. I've not been praying as much. But for me, it's not that I don't believe. And I have a lot of hope and a lot of faith. And I'm always saying, God, please do this for
I
me
think-
in the whatever part of the day.
I think prayer is the most simple thing.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's a very personal thing. Like
Exactly.
my conversations with God are bro, I can even round off a prayer and be like, God, you know what? I don't remember everything, but you know my heart.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like
I think
not
it's
complex.
you are right. And to this guy's point, these are some of the things that kind of push people away from such spaces, because there's something I need to achieve and I feel like I'm falling short, and it's like every other time I need to make amends and try do better, but I keep falling short and I keep falling short and I keep falling short. So we've talked about a performance-based life. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, with something like Christianity, there's a way I have nothing against Christianity, by the way, but there's a way a certain kind of Christianity has been sold, especially to Africans and black people. Like, for example, bro, we were having a conversation about speaking in tongues the other day, right? if we take an example, someone did this comparison on social media. Look at black churches and look at white churches. These are the people who brought this religion that we are practicing now.
We're going deeper.
Exactly. So what going for that? Like, where did you lose the plot?
I always tell people, and it's very simple. It's like, if you look at, I always say that Christianity was Catholicism, all that was used as a tool of imperialism. Now, when the white man came to Africa, 15th century or 14th century, wherever it was, they came, right? Religion was used as the tool to get in. Oh, here what? We've come from Europe. Give us this worst place to us to build our missionary church. And many of the tribes and many of the countries would even give these white guys the church in the part of the village that is very, very like cursed or whatever. And then they'd be amazed that these white guys were able to build churches and not die there. I'm trying to say, because of our beliefs. But I maintain, if you think about it, especially places like Cuba, places like Haiti, that have maintained link to Yoruba and Voodoo and those like religions, right? Are you telling me since the beginning of mankind, all of the traditional religions that we had were just circumnavigated by Christianity, and now we threw it out the window? It makes no sense.
And that's the minority, bro.
It's like, bro, let me tell you, and I use, this is another example. I'm sure many people in this room probably have a tetanus injection at some point because you got pierced by something and you had to have an injection or whatever, right? I remember when I was a kid and how...
You hit the nail on the head.
Something like that. A rusty nail, right? And what did my grandmother do? She made a poultice of kerosene.
A what now?
Poultice.
A poultice.
It's like, Jesus Christ.
Nah, I need to add that one to my
Poultice.
I never had that shit, bro.
Poultice.
P-O?
Look at Austin getting a...
Have you never heard that?
He's getting a boner from that.
Let me just...
Kizungu Kubo.
Poultice, P-O.
You know the problem is now, when you guys don't know the word...
We can't let you get away with that one, bro.
Poultice, right.
Oh, no, John in the home vacation. Hey.
Listen, a soft, moist mass of material typically consisting of bran, flour, herbs, etc., applied to the body to relieve soreness and inflammation and kept in place with a cloth. So I've used it in its exact context. So my grandma...
I wasn't familiar.
Yeah, poultice, So my grandmother would make a poultice out of kerosene. And you know, when you say we're talking about green bananas, and she'd grind it together, right? And then you tie it over the wound with whatever. And the next day, you'd see that this thing had pulled out all sorts of gunk out of the wound or whatever.
Really?
And you keep moving, right? That's what my grandmother used to do to us as kids. Never had a tetanus injection. There's no part of my leg that has fallen off because of all of the nails and chops. So if you think about traditional medicine, whereas, you know, bro, I look at myself now and I think to myself, do you know what? All this stuff that my grandma used to give me, like, for example, every morning before we went to school, we had to drink this aloe vera thing. And it was so disgusting.
So bitter.
But you're not going to school without drinking your aloe vera. It's like, like my grandmother was like, in the morning in Jamaica, tea is anything you drink in the morning. They'll even say chocolate tea, coffee tea.
It's tea.
It's just tea. And you know how many mornings my grandmother would say to me, just go by the fence and pull some lemongrass or fever grass or some sorrel or some mint from it.
Rosemary.
Yeah, and that's how we grew up. Right? But think about it now, and you think about how the health cycle of humans are now and all of these various lifestyle diseases. Bro, some of our grandparents and stuff are fortunate to live to some superannuated years. But they kept things simple. And didn't just embrace the Western side of things. So I always wonder, I think it would be so dope, you know, like how Asian religion, especially in West, you have your orishas and that guard your ancestral worship that guards your family. That makes a lot more sense to me.
And actually, in the same light, you know, this is actually a personal story. I've said it before in my pod, but tawambia tu tena. So when I was young, I used to have like crazy ringworms. Like in my head. Like, boss, nilikuwa ninakaa mzee. Nilikuwa ninakaa moi.
Is that why you always have a beard?
No, come on, guys. No, this is just a style. But later on, nilipona. But the thing is, The reason why I got them is because the place where I used to go get shaved is the same place where like some local Maasais also used to shave. So now I don't think they used to clean the
blades properly.
Yeah. So nika because it can be transferred from one head to another post.
Yeah.
But Kenny Kapeni, the moment I got that stuff, bro, it was a whole story.
Yeah.
Like tulienda hosi, they gave me some cream. That cream was not working. It's like they were even getting fatter. It's like they were even feeding on the cream. Nikatoka hapo na ina get worse, na inawasha. At some point, it used to be nilikuwa na stigma because chuo was sema mzee, like what's happening? At some point I used to even apply kiwi. So that ikae black kiwi kidogo hivi nini.
So did your mom fix it?
Now my shosho came from Shags
and fixed it.
No. This is my shosho from now the tighter side. She was like, hii ni uchafu. She brought Omo, smeared Omo in my head. Cha. Nothing. We even went to the pastor, bro. Nothing. But now we went to my Calais side. One of my like great grandmas was like, hey, Ebu come. We went behind the house. There was another tree, some tree. She plucked some branches, told me to pluck some ukombele nini. She took them, akabonda kidogo hivi.
Poultice.
Once again.
Yes.
Akaichukua akanisugua nayo kichwa hivi. Ilikuwa inawasha, bro. Nilikuwa nasikia nikani moto, nikani Holy Spirit hata iko kwa kichwa yangu. Like nasikia ni moto. But then in 2 days it cleared up.
Gone.
In fact, I even took some in a black bag because I remember everything. Went back with it home in Kisumu your time.
Case.
And you gave it to some of your niggas.
Kuja bwana wewe.
So you guys will call the ringworm guy.
Bro, I had a very similar. I used to have the craziest.
Like these guys used to look like, a football. Black.
Yeah. My grandmother had the craziest remedies for things, and like I just think I'm a product, even to the point where, like when I think back and I think about like when we had colds and stuff, and we were relatively, because they had answers for everything that was outside of traditional.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes we've thrown out of our tradition, religion-wise, and embraced this new thing.
It's like my mom. She used to make me drink more Rubaini. Bro, that shit, God damn. I've got an uncle to date who's still always on that aloe vera. He's always like, yo, boil that aloe vera and all of this. And
But then, from a medical perspective, aloe vera is really good for gut health. And colon cleansing. So there's something they knew that we didn't know. Because I don't think my grandmother read and said, "Oh, aloe vera is good to keep good gut health and to balance your whatever level." But it's actually really good.
But you know what's crazy? I was just listening to you and talking about your grandma and all of those. Did you actually internalize all of these different recipes, for lack of a better word?
100%.
You know all of them?
Not all of them,
but you know,
but
like
the majority of ones. Like, but obviously, I don't have access to
remember the Matoke one?
No, but how comes you don't, like, when's the last time you used any of those remedies?
It depends on, like, for example, let's say and this is a pretty straightforward one, but let's say, for example, I'm all clogged up. I would use albus oil, for example, which is that.
Which is that?
So albus oil, you put it on the tissue, then you put it inside the pillow. You wake up the next day, you're clear. So there are a few things I have in my house that I use from those days.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Because you know why I'm asking? Because I feel like it'll get to a point where, like, for me, my grandmother, I only have one grandmother who's left, and she didn't even live here.
But you know, I know this, bro. Let me tell you, because I know we're on a time thing. One of the greatest problems that we have, and one of the things that I'm so glad that I see people doing in Jamaica is we haven't documented our history. We haven't documented our stories. We don't sit with our parents long enough to hear what their stories are. And the fact of the matter is, it's like one of those ones, it's like, if we don't pass these things on, they're going to die with our generation. So what people are starting to do in Jamaica, and a lot of YouTubers are doing, is going to sit with the old people. You put them in front of the camera, you sit with them, you talk to them, and they start to tell you he's like, it's a new rabbit hole I've gone down in. I've learned so much. There's this podcast called Kareem's Quest in Jamaica, and I've learned so much about the island. Because he'll go into an area, like let's say he goes into your shags, and you find the oldest person who lives by the church. That person can tell you when the church was built, who was the pastor, and then it's now catalogued into a visual story. And I challenge how many people here, like everyone in this room, how many of you have got your grandparents or your great-grandparents or even your parents on video telling you some shit?
I saw
Not just a 10-second, My brother has my brother has so many SD cards of my grandmother telling stories. I can't even look at them. Even my aunt who died the other day, my grandaunt died the other day. The day she died, he posted up a story where he was like, where she's saying to him, just tell Ella to be herself. Do you know how powerful that shit is?
very.
You know what I mean? And I've got a pal, and I mean, y'all know him as well, but I said, I want to mention Bruce. I said, Bruce, let's put your dad in a room and let's talk.
Stories. Yeah.
And get these. It's important, bro.
It's like I've been learning. There's this chick. I don't know whether she's come up on your Instagram, you guys, right? She's all about African history and culture. She's called Valerie Keter.
Yeah.
Like she posts up stories. I didn't know about the story about Kilimanjaro. Like she put up a very good video about how Kilimanjaro has, you know, when you look at the borderlines of Kenya and Tanzania, there's a straight one. And then next to Kilimanjaro, there's like a whole, like it goes round, it kind of starts to go in or something.
Meander.
And it was because there was, you know, the British, the Germans, and then, you know, because Tanzania was German first and then British, right? So they were like, hey, this country can't have two mountains.
Right.
Give one to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's like she gives a lot of stories. Like the other day she was talking about, you know, the whole definition of
So
Mau
we
Mau.
gave Kilimanjaro to Tanzania.
It was
Partly.
you know, when the British were doing all of these
The scrambling
borders,
and partition.
all of these borders are not by us.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
and you know what's actually crazy? The other day when I was driving down to Arusha, I don't think guys understand and pay attention, right? Bro, when you are getting towards Arusha, between the Kenya, Kajiado, past Kajiado, all of that is Maasai country. Then you cross the border. On your way all the way to Arusha is a lot of Maasais. So the only division is just that border.
border, yeah.
You get? So the
artificial.
Maasais, like the Maasais are Maasais.
It's like Busia and Uganda.
Yeah. All of these borders are not us guys. You know what I mean? Like she was even giving the whole breakdown of Mau Mau and what Mau Mau means, right? And they were talking about, so there was her explanation, which was Mzungu, Arudi
Aende
Ulaya,
Ulaya,
Mwafrika apate Uhuru, right? And she was giving that as the definition.
Right.
And then on the comments, guys were like, no, that's actually not it.
But
it's Uma, which in Kikuyu means come out, come
Yeah.
out.
But also, it's important for you to read these things and be guided.
Yeah.
But also do your own research as
Yeah.
well.
Exactly.
And let me tell you guys something you don't know about our producer Byron. You see, right now, you guys think you're podcasting. All you can see is a long edit. So listen, my name is G Money. This is the Mics Are Open.
And the young,
Big C.
You think he's walking up and down. You think he's
Tonio
loving the
Kibz.
content.
It's like this motherfucker.
You think he's loving the content. He's like,
They're gonna destroy my time too.